Stanley dancer, and this was definitely one of the greatest disappointments in my life. Not this scene, not the first tee of the 1971 Little Brown Jug. I'm talking about Jug Day overall, the entire race. That's Albatross you see there. I trained and drove him. He was the fastest racing standardbred when he retired. A world champion three-year-old. Truly one of the super greats of all time. He won the first tee of the 1971 Jug. Unfortunately, Nansemond beat him in the final. Albatross wasn't himself that day, and I have to take the blame. The colt raced 5 tough miles in only 10 days, including his 3 jug heats.
Albatross upon the outside second. H.T. Luca goes to the outside third. Less than an eighth of a mile to go. It's Nansemond by a length. Albatross on the outside. It's Nansemond at the rail. Albatross second. Nansemond and the arm. Nansemond wins the Little Brown Jug.
You know, Albatross really didn't deserve to lose. The Little Brown Jug means an awful lot. Even though we have races that are worth more in dollars, since it was started in 1946 by Joe Neville, it's been a classic. Through the efforts of Hank Thompson, the late Curly Smart, and Tommy Thompson over the last 30 years, the Jug has become the premier pacing event in the sport. When you're talking about pacing, you're talking about the Little Brown Jug. Talking about pacing, you're talking about the Little Brown Jug. And I consider myself very lucky to have had 3 jug winners. I know it takes a truly great horse to win the Brown Jug, but Albatross's defeat taught me all too well that not all the great ones do win it. I've lived with the bitterness of that defeat for 5 years without a single horse even good enough to start in the Jug. Until Keystone Ore, that is. I first saw Keystone Ore in the fall of 1975 in the Hanover Colt Stake when he was second, a bit of fun in 158 and 4. I watched him race the next week when he beat Umbro Ranger in Pennsylvania Sire Stakes at Liberty Bell, and that's when I became very interested in the colt. Before entering my barn as a 3-year-old, the son of Bye Bye Bird, Oregon's Tiny, was a lightly raced freshman with only 1 victory and 3 stake starts. I paid a lot for this one, but I had a lot of confidence in his ability to be the best. By the time we reached the Jug, his record proved my confidence correct. He had the true greatness to be a Jug winner. There was a lot of similarity between this colt and Albatross. In the terms of size and handling, Keystone Ore even takes a bit of an edge. I knew Ore was as great a champion as Albatross. Now, all I wanted to do was prove it to the fans at Delaware, where I still had a bit of a score to settle. It was late in the day when the first group of jug horses were being ready for their elimination heat. A strong, chill wind was the only wrinkle in an otherwise bright, clear day. In the paddock was perhaps the greatest crop of 3-year-old pacers the sport has ever known. The horse to beat in the first heat was Umbro Ranger, a tough-faced son of Steady Star trained by Joe O'Brien. He had the confidence of a horse who proved he was easily the best of these same colts during the freshman year. While he didn't appear as great at 3, his presence could never be ignored. An early season accident seemed to take some sting from his powerful punch, but his stunning win in the Adios erased any doubts that his class or speed was gone. His narrow world record equaling victory over my colt, following a bruising stretch drive, was all I needed to peg him the colt to beat that day or any day. But Ranger would have to earn anything he got. A most happy fellow colt named Precious Fellow was always a threat to spoil someone's afternoon. His biggest success came in the Prix d'Été, where I was on the receiving end with Keystone Ore. He barreled on by me in the final for an impressive 158 score. Del Cameron didn't bring his colt to Delaware just for the trip. He had a real shot to win. And if one or both of these colts were having an off day, there was a ton of other talent eager to earn one of the 4 berths into a second heat.
As they pass the stand for the first time, Gracious Fella has the rail. Armbro Ranger is second. Has the half in 58 and 4. Warm Breeze is third. And Nate on the outside fourth. Bean Siegel fifth has the rail. Norris Skipper is there sixth. Abel Bannon seventh. Greenmaker trails the field at the 5/8 mark. As they race to the back stretch, it's Gracious Fella has the rail. Armbro Ranger parts on the outside second. Racing third, Warm Breeze. And Nate on the outside fourth. As they race over the 3/4 mark, they reach the 3/4 in 1:27 and 2. The third quarter in 28 and 3. Little more than an eighth of a mile to go. It's Gracious Fella at the rail. Armbro Ranger on the outside second. Warm Breeze is third. And Nate fourth. Bean Siegel on the outside fifth. As they come to the payoff, it's Gracious Fella at the rail. Armbro Ranger on the outside. Warm Breeze third. As they come to the wire, it's Armbro Ranger on the outside.
Just as it appeared on paper, Armbro Ranger, owned by Canadian J. Elgin Armstrong, finishing on top. Gracious Fella and Warm Breeze finishing second and third. All were sharp and full of speed. But I'd worry about them later. I had my own elimination heat to worry about first. The jug isn't taken until someone wins it twice. And Keystone Orr still had to finish among the top 4 in his heat if he was going to get a chance to win it all. And the second field of horses took no backseat to the one just raced. The draw produced 2 very evenly matched fields of pacers. Little did anyone know that Windshield Wiper, another Houghton stable entry, would be the fastest 3-year-old of all time with a 1:53 2/5 time trial at Lexington later in the season. I can't think of a single stake in which Windshield Wiper wasn't one of the top 5 finishers. Raven Hanover was probably the second toughest colt I had to face. Lightly raced at 2, he set stake records at Batavia Downs and Sportsman's Park. At 3, the George Schulte trained youngster was blooming late. He figured to be a lot better than his record showed.
These are the horses for the second division of the Little Brown Jug. Number 1, Pensive Breath with Joe O'Brien. Number 2, Windshield Wiper and Billy Houghton. Number 3, Baron the Brute with Wayne Fowman. Number 4 is Boutron Hanover with Keith Waypole. Number 5, Raven Hanover, the driver George Schulte. Number 6, Cavalcade with John Hayes Jr. Number 7 is Shadow Dog Time, the driver George Hewitt. Number 8, Keystone Orr, Stand Dancer in the Socky.
In a contest like the Jug, you're out to win the race and not to set any track records. Our field was capable of all sorts of speed, but I had no intentions of overdoing it.
Keystone Orr and Shadow Dog Time going for the lead. Baron the Brute between horses. Windshield Wiper down along the rail as they race around the turn. That's Shadow Dog Time up on the outside. Windshield Wiper is second. Baron the Brute is third. Boutron Hanover racing fourth. Keystone Orr is fifth. Raven Hanover sixth. Cavalcade seventh. Pensive Breath trails the field following the break as they race down the back stretch going to first quarter. It's Shadow Dog Time with the lead as they race over the quarter in 29 and 1/5. Windshield Wiper is there second. Racing third, Boutron Hanover. Fourth at the rail, Baron the Brute. Racing fifth on the outside, Keystone Orr. At the 3/8 mark, it's Keystone Orr on the move on the outside. Now fourth as Windshield Wiper edges to the outside second. Passing a stand for the first time, coming to the halfway mark. It's Shadow Dog Time with the lead. Windshield Wiper is there second. Keystone Orr on the outside third. Boutron Hanover fourth at the rail. Baron the Brute is fifth. Raven Hanover's on the move, sixth on the outside. Cavalcade racing seventh. Trailing the field at Pensive Breath at the 5/8 mark. Racing the back stretch. It's Shadow Dog Time with the lead. Windshield Wiper up on the outside second. Keystone Orr and Stand Dancer now third on the outside as they race over the 3/4 mark. Boutron Hanover is fourth at the 3/4 in 1:28 and 2. At third quarter in 29 and 1. Midway around the final turn, it's Windshield Wiper with the lead. Here comes Keystone Orr with a rush on the outside. Raven Hanover is third. The 3-year-old colt matching stride for stride. Windshield Wiper at the rail. Keystone Orr
was sharp, parked much of the mile, but he beat off all challengers in the stretch. I was looking forward now to a real good day. A lot goes through your mind waiting for the next heat in a race like the Jug, but mainly you try to concentrate on the job at hand. A lot of the ironies of the situation seemed to hit me all at once. Keystone Ore was partly owned by Farmer Perry, the same gentleman who was one of the breeders and owners of Nansemond. That brought back memories of Albatross's Jug all over again. And then there was the comment I heard shouted from the crowd as I came back to the paddock with Keystone Ore. A fellow hollered over the fence at me, "Hey, Dancer, you should have had Oil Burner in here." Oil Burner was a colt I had sold for nearly nothing early in the year because he wasn't showing any stake potential. We only thought to keep him eligible to the New York Sire Stakes. After we sold him, he blossomed into a real great horse who took a race record of 154-4. And no other three-year-old, not even Ore or Albatross, ever went faster. I was real anxious about the final Jug heat. It seemed very important that Keystone Ore prove himself the best. 8 horses returned for the 3rd mile, the top 4 finishers from the previous 2 elimination heats. Truly, 8 of the best sophomore pacers brought together for a single dash. Keystone Ore and myself at the rail. Umbro Ranger with Joe O'Brien. Windshield Wiper steered by Billy Houghton. Precious Fellow and Rain to Del Cameron. Warm Breeze teamed by Dick Farrington. Raven Hanover with George Sholdy. Mandate and Merritt Dolke. And Cavalcade with John Hayes Jr. in the bike. Drawing the rail was going to be the key. Umbro Ranger was the horse to beat. I was prepared to do battle with him. Keystone Ore would have it easy until Joe made his move.
They're off then, pacing, going for the lead. Precious Fellow in the middle of the track. Keystone Ore down along the rail. Umbro Ranger between horses as they race into the turn. Windshield Wiper 4th at the rail. Warm Breeze pacing 5th. Raven Hanover is 6th. Cavalcade on the outside 7th. As they race to the backstretch, Mandate at the rail. Racing to the first quarter. Up on the outside, it's Precious Fellow to take command. Keystone Ore racing 2nd at the rail. Umbro Ranger is 3rd. Windshield Wiper 4th at the quarter in 29 seconds. Warm Breeze pacing 5th. Raven Hanover is 6th as they race around the turn. Mandate racing 7th. Cavalcade trails the field at the 3/8 mark. Here comes Keystone Ore on the move on the outside. The challenge Precious Fellow for command. Into the stretch, passing us into the first time, coming to the halfway mark. It's Keystone Ore with the lead. Precious Fellow is 2nd. Umbro Ranger 3rd at the rail. They reach the half in 59-3. Windshield Wiper goes to the outside, along with Umbro Ranger. Warm Breeze 5th at the rail. Raven Hanover on the outside 6th. The battle's on with Keystone Ore at the rail. Umbro Ranger on the outside 2nd. Precious Fellow 3rd at the rail. Windshield Wiper on the outside 4th as they race down the back stretch, going to the 3/4 mark. It's Keystone Ore with the lead. Umbro Ranger is 2nd. Precious Fellow 3rd at the rail. The 3/4 in 1 and 29-1. Windshield Wiper on the outside 4th. Warm Breeze is 5th. Little more than 1/8 of a mile to go. Keystone Ore opens up by 2 lengths. Umbro Ranger fading on the outside. Precious Fellow at the rail. Warm Breeze goes to the outside 3rd as they come to the payoff. It's Keystone Ore with the lead. Precious Fellow, Warm Breeze to the outside. Keystone Ore in the arm. Mile in 1:57-2, equaling the world record for 2 heats.
Keystone Ore winning the Jug, winning easy, equaling Brett Hanover's 2-heat world record for 3-year-old pacing colts over a half-mile track. Definitely one of the greatest thrills in my life. Ore had now won 2 legs of pacing's Big 3, and winning Roosevelt's Messenger Stake would give him something Albatross never had: the honor and the prestige of the Triple Crown. I'd like to thank my partners, Farmer Perry, Frank Perry, Robert Jones, my wife Rachel, and Mrs. Hilda Silverstein for their confidence in Keystone Ore and myself. A special thanks to Ore's groom, Roy Penner, for a fantastic job all year long. This horse has proven he's a super great one, and he doesn't need to do a whole lot more. To be a Triple Crown winner would mean a lot. But already, this horse has done more than any horse for many years. No matter what else happens from here on, at Roosevelt or anywhere, I wouldn't think there could be much doubt about the horse's greatness. You're looking at the next horse of the year, maybe even the decade.
On October 30th, 1976, Stanley Dancer took Keystone Ore into Roosevelt Raceway for the Messenger Stake, the third jewel in Hastings' Triple Crown. They finished second. But this loss could not diminish the record accomplishments of the colt. On December the 5th, 1976,